Ajo Way at Mission, and collisions clearing Broadway in Alvernon, golf links west of Freeman, at golf links in Old Spanish Trail. Potential for some thunderstorms, and it is 98 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Bank of America. Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America, N.A. Copyright 2024.
DK on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
Cricket, did you know that you had a World Cup?
Straight! We're going to have a super over!
Is that like soccer?
I don't understand any of it. I don't understand the terminology. I don't understand. Left-armed seamer, can you believe it or not? He caught a slip.
You don't want to catch a slip.
I don't know what any of those things
That's not good at all.
But congrats to the USA for defeating Pakistan.
Yeah, I like the left-hand seamer, though. That sounds like a good thing.
Wildcats Radio 1290. Your home for in-depth conversation.
Nothing they do is by surprise. They telegraph what they want to do, and then they brag about it afterwards. It's a way to keep us at each other's throats.
The most pressing issues.
This was just a white-on-black crime, and you can already see the narrative starting to form in real time.
And fresh perspective.
The air marshals will not be on the airplanes because they're down at the border escorting illegal aliens to their Ubers.
America's most loved truth tellers live on Tucson's home for conservative talk. This is Freedom 1400.
Diesel owners know if you take care of your engine, it'll return the favor. Hot Shot secret formulates additives that help you prevent problems and boost performance. Diesel Extreme cleans internal and external injector deposits. And EDT increases fuel economy by up to 7.3%. Scientifically proven by third-party testing. Add Hot Shot secret at your next fill-up to get the most out of your diesel. Available nationwide at truck stops, farm and automotive stores, and online at hotshotsecret.com. Hot Shot Secret. Powered by science.
Small business owners, we know finishing your to-do list can feel like rowing upstream. But it's a river, a whitewater river, and the only paddles you have are pool noodles. Then when a new to-do pops up, you're like, nope, I'm already rowing upstream with these pool noodle paddles. At Progressive, we don't want to make your day any harder. That's why we make it easy to get personalized discounts with a commercial auto insurance quote online. So your to-do list is smooth sailing. See if you can save on commercial auto insurance in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverages and discounts not available in all states and subject to policy terms and underwriting.
This is Zach Elba, the Sports Minute, sponsored by WeatherGuard Truck and Van Equipment. They're just as driven as the hardworking pros they serve. J.J. McCarthy made his Vikings debut, completing 11 out of 17 passes for 188 yards with 2 passing touchdowns and an interception. McCarthy passed his first test, but the 10th overall pick in the draft is expected to start the season on the bench. And I think it's a waste of everyone's time to start Sam Darnold week 1, and the Vikings should rethink their plan and have J.J. start against the Giants on September 8th. I'm Zach Gelb. For more than half a century, contractors and trade professionals have relied on WeatherGuard for heavy-duty truck and van storage equipment, not just to protect their valuable tools, but to protect their professional reputations. For pros, the WeatherGuard badge makes a statement about what drives them. It says, "Bring it on. Been there. Done that. We've got your back," without saying a word. And the folks at WeatherGuard, they're just as driven as the hardworking pros they serve. See what it means to be driven at weatherguard.com.
O'Reilly. Need a little help? O'Reilly Auto Parts can help. Need advice? We've got advice. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Exceptional customer service. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. You can, as always, download our app because our app slaps and you can watch the show on our app. It is Wildcats Radio 1290. So download the app and join us for the program. We got some crazy things going down there. We lost the stream during the interview with the head coach, as we sometimes do. It just sometimes overloads the whole system and shuts it down. But we should be back up and running. And my understanding is now, I was not aware of this, but apparently we are no longer streaming on Twitter. I was not aware of this until just today. I guess we have to upgrade our it no longer, you have to pay more now, apparently, to stream on Twitter.
Yeah,
so
the richest man in the world is struggling for cash, DK.
I guess. So we won't be have to worry about being knocked off the air by the former president of the United States coming up here in about 17 minutes, because apparently I just was going back during that interview and looking at it. I don't think we've actually been on Twitter for several weeks, but I see how much I'm monitoring things here, that I didn't even know that we weren't on Twitter anymore. So I'll have to further look into that and see if we can, because I know one of our other stations, I see their stream is still going. So I don't know if they decided to upgrade the package or not, but apparently we are now just on Facebook Live, YouTube, and Twitch. So go to one of those streaming platforms to watch the show if you so desire. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. 520-848-1290. Let's talk to our guy, Paul in Phoenix. You're on Wildcats Radio 1290 DK on the Sports Tip. Hey, Paul.
Hey, David. Hey, J-Dub. Hey, couple things real quick. And you know, you're there. You see Coach, how he interacts with the players and whatnot. And I only hear him how he's doing in the interviews. But I'm thinking a couple things. I equate our former coach, I won't even mention his name. To me, after now comparing him to Coach Brennan, okay, our former coach was kind of like a used car salesman, okay? He made everything sound good, look good. He had all the nice cars on the lot. They'd come in and visit. You'd look at him. Ooh, wow, look at that guy. He's here to see you. All those cars look good. Okay, he's gone. Coach Brennan, is it me or is he? I'm not going to use the word uncomfortable, but he would probably rather he'd like to not be doing interviews. He'd rather just be coaching. Is it me or am I getting that feeling right or wrong?
It's funny you put it that way, Paul, because I had the same conversation with somebody over the weekend, and I said that, Jed Fish was a used car salesman. I mean, to the hilt, he was that football coach that was always selling the program. He was always, talking about everything and trying to build it up, and so much that he should, because again, he inherited something that was in the scrap heap and was very, very low on the totem pole. So he somewhat had to do that. He had to interject something, fresh and new into this program again.
That's got to be a huge part of it. Yeah. When you're talking about how you deal with media, when you're building up the program, maybe you're talking a lot of, greatest and worst type of, black and white commentary, as he did in the midst of a 12-game, 14-game, 18-game losing streak. I think being ultra positive in the face of all of that, my read on Coach Brennan is he has a lot to say about a lot of things, but he doesn't want to sit there, Paul, and talk about things like injuries and when somebody's going to come back, because it's not of substance, if that makes sense. I think when you hear him talk about what his vision for the program is, obviously his legacy and what Coach Tomey means to him and the family orientation, he's very passionate talking about that. I think right now there's a lot of X's and O's stuff going on behind the scenes that we won't be privy to until the end of the first quarter of game one. There's a lot of secrecy, right, involving. And so I think I'm curious to see what Coach Brennan sounds like halfway through the season. I think there'll be a little bit more that he has to talk about. Seems like he likes to talk about things of substance. Right now, it's a lot of gray area behind the scenes stuff that he can't really comment on.
I would say he's very careful. That's how I would put it. He's very careful about the things that he says up there.
He's very guarded. So David or J-Dub, neither one of you guys were. Well, J-W may have been. Were you around when Coach Tomey and how did I don't remember how Coach Tomey handled a lot of this early season media stuff. Of course, it wasn't as big as it is now. Nowadays it's ridiculous. But I mean, do you see Coach Brennan as acting like Coach Tomey? Because that's where he learned a lot of it. Is that kind of how it is? I just remember Coach Tomey being. He was just a ball coach. He was a ball coach, and yet he loved his players. And he just, that was it. And it wasn't, I don't know. So I'm just real curious to see how this team performs, because to me, I don't think we're not getting a lot of specifics like Jed, like that other guy gave us. And that's okay. That's okay. I just want us to perform on the field. But I mentioned, David, to J-Dub, I was going to bring up something real quick and before you have to go. You had conversations, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, about Clemson and Florida State. Okay. And I've been thinking, I toss this back and forth in my mind. And of course I have obviously nothing else better to do, but I'm thinking to myself, why wouldn't we want Clemson and Florida State to join the Big 12, Big whatever it's going to be called? And because from a relevance standpoint, okay, I don't want to be the guy on the outside looking in going, wow, that SEC or that Big 10, they got those teams. Who do we have still? You know what I mean? Oh, we've got Utah and Oklahoma State and Kansas and Kansas, whatever. If we got those two teams, it's gonna help in the big picture. Wouldn't it help us in recruiting? Because you can't tell me there's a kid in Florida who said, "Hey, Florida State didn't even give me a look." It's like, well, come to Tucson, and you'll get to see them possibly once a year, possibly.
Yeah, I think that's exactly.
And you'll be able to see them.
Paul, that's exactly how we labeled it. Is the positives would be you get into South Carolina, you get into Florida more for recruiting. DK's take is Arizona's poised right now, along with the Utes, of being on top of that conference. And the teams that are on top of the conference now that the college football playoffs has expanded, it's an automatic berth, right? So I think DK's pretty steadfast on the point of wanting to see Arizona in the college football playoffs, which they have a better chance to do without competing against those teams. I think the cycle 3, 4, 5, 6 years from now, you're talking about the recruiting cycle, who comes in, who comes out. That's when you would see maybe some kind of advantage of getting into those new markets. But as far as right now today, you got Noah, T-Mac, all these guys on defense, get out there and try to win a title in this new conference year one. That's a lot easier to do without Clemson and Florida State around.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, well, guys, it's full-on football season, and I'm going to leave you with this thought, okay? I was thinking about one last thing, okay? So we said goodbye to Nick Foles from the NFL.
Yes.
Nick was a very good Arizona quarterback. I don't think he was great. He was very good, okay? Now we have another guy who starts with the letter N, and that's Noah, okay? In about 5 to 10 years, which quarterback do you think we'll talk about more, Nick or Noah, from the standpoint of the NFL? Very interesting. I know a lot of people say, Noah's too small. Well, again, the kid, from everything I hear, the kid has the mentality. The kid has it from that standpoint. Boy, I would sure love 10 years from now to be talking about how Noah just made a name for himself at the next level. And I wish him the best. I wish the whole team the best. He's just such a good kid. I want nothing but good things for him. So, guys, I'll be checking in.
Appreciate you as always,
guys.
Paul.
Thank you.
Well, I heard somebody over the weekend tell me that the belief inside the building is that Noah can play at the next level. I'm again, you know me. I'm short quarterbacks is not necessarily my thing. I'm not convinced of that just yet. I want to see it again.
You want to see the deep out?
The deep out. One of my biggest concerns so far of fall camp is that the first team offense has not made a lot of plays. There have not been a lot of plays there in the pass game for the first team offense. And that's primarily what you're watching in fall camp. You can't really tell much about what's happening in the run game. I mean, occasionally you'll see a hole open up and a guy will shoot through it and you're like, okay, that would have been a good run in a
cut.
game.
You can maybe evaluate a cut, but you can't evaluate blocking or anything because it's not at full speed.
Exactly. But you can evaluate the passing game. And the one thing I'm seeing now, it's gotten better, I think, in the last 2 days. And one of the reasons it's gotten better in the last 2 days is because Tetro McMillan has been back on the field. But Noah's been holding the ball too long for me. And I've talked about this at length over the years with a lot of guys that have played the position of quarterback here at the University of Arizona. You have got to make quick decisions. You've got to make got to get rid of that football in a timely manner. And I love one of the things they've got with this organization. I don't know if they've had this before. Maybe I just didn't see it. But when they do 7-on-7, they've got a kid or somebody that sits on the line of scrimmage and has a flag. And he raises that flag when the ball is supposed to be gone. And too many times I'm seeing the ball still in Noah Fifita's hands when that flag goes up. And I want to see him get rid of the ball quickly, make faster decisions, process things a lot quicker than what I'm seeing. And granted, I understand we've got a very, very good defensive backfield. This defensive backfield might be even better than we thought it's been. And maybe that's one of the reasons it's been more difficult for this offense to get any juice going and get any consistency going in practice. But I want to see faster decisions from Noah Fifita. And again, I've started to see that a little bit better over the last 2 days with his buddy, Tetro McMillan, on the field.
I got a shocking statement for Tucson. I'm really happy that T-Mac has been out. And I'll tell you why. It's because that security blanket Noah's had since 8th grade, DK. Right. Whenever a play breaks down, he knows his big wide receiver is going to go up and high point the ball. When you have that in the back of your mind on every single play, T-Mac's going to bail me out, pocket's breaking down, but I know I just got to throw it over in that general direction and T-Mac will get it. Noah's had that since 8th grade. So any reps he can get without T-Mac being on the field, T-Mac will be back. T-Mac's going to be just as great as he was last year, maybe even better. However, all the reps that Noah Fifita can get without that security blanket, just like you said, lends itself to decision-making, those opportunities to make those reads, and is only going to help improve his pocket presence and getting rid of the ball before that flag goes up.
All right, we're going to talk more Arizona football. Lamont Lovett will join us in the next hour. Also, we'll get you set for Arizona soccer's season opener as Becca Moros, the head coach of the Wildcats, will join us, and we'll get her thoughts on her 2024 squad. It's DK on the Sports Tip with JW Madden and Cricket. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it is Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. We've got slowdowns westbound Ajoet Mission, collisions Broadway and Alvernon, and also golf links west of Freeman at Golf Links and Old Spanish Trail. And weather-wise, there is a severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 5:15, and it is 98 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
When you have sports mixed with your pop culture, along with humor and celebrity interviews, your earbuds are enjoying The Rich Eisen Show.
Jerry Jones, when he said we're going all in, I thought Derrick Henry's going to be out there, go get a couple of free agents, add them to the Cowboys, and instead, as we all know, they didn't do very much in free agency at all. What a difference we'd be talking about the Dallas Cowboys' chances of winning it all this year if that guy was there.
Who may not have wanted to go to Dallas.
I don't know about that. Why wouldn't you want to do that?
Ravens a little bit better of a football team, maybe?
Search for The Rich Eisen Show on YouTube or wherever you listen.
If you have a Wildcat sign on your wall, 1290 is your radio station. Because we love the Wildcats as much as you do. This is the home of the Arizona Wildcats. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Back to school season is here. Children have a lot on their minds, like reading, writing, and arithmetic. Please drive with extra caution in our school zones. This message is paid for by R&R Restoration, LLC in Tucson. They're specializing in classic car restoration. Let over 35 years of experience go to work for you. Call R&R Restoration, LLC today at 520-777-6903, 520-777-6903, or visit oldguysrestoration.com. That's R&R Restoration. People who care.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800